We go. Call to order the Executive Committee meeting, second session, Maryland State Firefighters Association. We'll start with a invocation and pledge. Chief Chaplain.
Good morning. You remain seated. You know it's Sunday. Can't let you leave here without a sermon. Today's scripture reading comes from the book of Job. In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. His sons used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When a period of feasting had run its course, Job would make arrangements for them to be purified. Early in the morning he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them, thinking, "Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." This was Job's regular custom. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan replied. "Have you put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger." Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. One day when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabeans attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The fire of God fell from heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The Chaldrons formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, "Your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine in the oldest brother's tent, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the tent. It collapsed on them, and they are all dead, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you." At that point, Job got up, tore his robe, and shaved his head. Then he fell to the ground in worship and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. This story in Scripture hits closer to us than you might expect. Job was the kind of man people respected, solid, dependable, the kind of guy others looked up to. He had a family, a good life, and everything seemed steady. And then, in what feels like a single alarm tone going off, everything fell apart. He lost his children, he lost his livestock, he lost his faith, health. The pain got so bad that he sat in ashes, scraping his wounds with broken pieces of pottery. And in the middle of all that, Job says, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" That's not denial. That's not weakness. That's a man choosing faith in the middle of absolute devastation. If you're in this room, you don't need suffering explained to you. You've seen things most people will never see. Fatal accidents, burned homes, lives changed in seconds, families on the worst day of their lives. You show up when everyone else is running away. You keep it together on the scene. You do the job. You take care of your crew. And then the call ends, but for a lot of you, it doesn't. It stays with you. Let me tell you about Brian. Brian was a firefighter's firefighter. He trained hard, he showed up early, he helped everyone. If someone in the department was hurting, Brian was the first one there, bringing food, helping around the house, taking care of things without being asked. That's the kind of brother you want on your crew. But Brian had calls he couldn't shake, the kind that stick in your head. The faces, the sounds, the things you wish had gone differently. He didn't talk about it because in this line of work, that's an unspoken rule. You don't complain, you don't break, you handle it. So Brian handled it the only way he could. He started drinking. At first it took the edge off. Then it became a habit. Then it became a problem. He started missing shifts. His reputation changed. The same people he once helped began to lose trust in him. His wife took the kids and left. And Brian hit a point that too many of first responders hit, but don't talk about. He believed everyone would be better off without him. One day, Brian was found unconscious in his truck in a grocery store parking lot. An empty bottle of vodka, empty prescription bottles. A bystander called 911. And here's the reality. He couldn't save himself. Someone else made the call. Just like the calls you respond to every day, that moment saved his life. Brian survived physically, but mentally, he was still in the fight. This time, though, something changed. He accepted help. Before leaving the hospital, he went straight to treatment. And folks, we have a great treatment center up in Howard County. If you want to know about it, see me. And slowly, step by step, he got honest. He faced the pain. He reconnected with his family, and he gave his life to Christ. Today, Brian's back. He's a captain, 29 years on the job. But more importantly, he's using his story to reach out to others. Here's the dangerous lie in this profession. If I'm strong enough, I can carry this on my own. That's not strength, that's isolation. Even Job didn't pretend he wasn't hurting. He grieved, he cried out, he sat in the ashes. Faith didn't mean pretending everything was okay. It meant he didn't walk away from God in the middle of it. Let's be honest. Some parts of Job's story don't sit well with us. It doesn't feel fair, it doesn't make sense, and a lot of what you see on calls doesn't make sense either. Kids shouldn't die, families shouldn't lose everything overnight, good people shouldn't suffer the way they do. Choosing faith in this line of work won't make the calls easier. It won't erase what you've seen, but it will keep you grounded, keep you connected, and remind you that you don't have to carry this alone. Like Job, like Brian, you can go through the fire and still come out the other side. Not untouched, but still standing, still serving, and still alive. We want to continue to lift up Bobby Jacobs and Bob Cumberland. I talked to Dave Lewis. Gloria's feeling better. And Carol Hayden's in hospice. Please join me in prayer. Father God, we thank you for your message this morning, Father. We don't realize that there are things in the Bible that can help us through every day of our lives. Father, the example you gave us in Job reaches everybody in this room. Father, we continue to lift up those who are suffering in silence. Father, give them the strength to reach out for help. Father, as we continue the business today, we ask for Solomon's wisdom be bestowed on the committee. We thank you for those serving, for those dedicating their time to the Maryland State Firefighters Association. Father, as we get ready to do this, we'll ask you to continue to watch after those we don't know about who are suffering. Help them through this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chaplain. Recognition of officers and guests. Second Vice President Lee Lutz. Hold on a second, Lee. I'm sorry. We wanted to jump in with a special presentation from President Simpson, and then we'll go to recognitions of guests.
No problem. It's all moving along well. Thank you. Okay, first I'd like the President of the Eastern Garrett Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department. You know, we had a great weekend. Yesterday was absolutely fantastic, a great turnout, and the hospitality, the weather, everything has been super fantastic. Today, they actually brought us a little bit of what it's really like in Western Maryland this time of year. So we're really getting quite an education up here this year. But I really do want to thank Eastern Garrett for what a great weekend it's been, and the services and everything that they've provided to the Maryland State Firefighters. Fantastic job. Thank you very much. Little token. Okay.
Just so you know, we will have lunch provided today. I do know, having traveled across the state, that it's quite a distance. So if you want a bagged lunch, we will bag that lunch up for you to take with you if you want to get on the road. So thank you for being here. You prompted us to do a lot of things that we needed to do, like wax the floor, clean the steps, clean the kitchen, and all those kinds of things. So your presence here was very helpful to us as an organization, for sure, just so you know. And you're welcome back anytime, especially the second Saturday. Take a drive out here some second Saturday and eat some Eastern Garrett spaghetti. I can tell you, there's none any better anywhere around. So thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you all very much again. And one quick message here. The Financial Secretary, Mitch, back there in the corner with Bobby, if anybody has any reimbursements that they need to handle for the weekend, please go back and get that taken care of as soon as possible. They'd like to get those things closed up in a timely manner. So thank you all very much. Mr. Second Vice President.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I can barely read this. Past presidents with us today. Well, I'll go ahead. I don't know whether Steve is going to make it here or not. He's supposed to. Stephen Cox, 96, 97. Roger Stager, 2000, 2001. Gene Worthington, 2002, 2003. Doyle Cox, 2010, 2011. Joel McCrae, 2021, 2022. And Skip Carey, 2024, 2025. I know I saw him. I know he's here because his ride's here. All right. Officers with us today. Charles Simpson, President. Myself as Second Vice President. Doyle Cox, Secretary and past President. Gene Aaron, Assistant Secretary. Richard Coons, Assistant Secretary. Jenny Wilhite, Assistant Secretary. Mitch Vogt, Financial Secretary. Bobby Aaron, Assistant Financial Secretary. The Reverend John Long, Chief Chaplain. Who else do we have here? Executive Committee members. Here with us today, Vice Chairman Vic Whipple.
Sir.
Randy Beavers. Clarence Chip Jewell. Randy Smith. Past President Roger Stager. Buddy Sutton. And the immediate past president, Skip Carey. I know he's here. And I don't believe there's any of the trustees here. I haven't seen them. Who? Oh, did I forget them? I sure did. Oh, Doug. Doug, I missed him, Doug Simpsons and Tim Dayton. I apologize, gentlemen. And I looked right at Tim this morning.
It's a clothing, don't worry about it.
Hey! Hey! All right. Ladies, President Joan Kramer, would you like to come up and introduce your people?
Good morning. With me this morning is my corresponding secretary, Samantha Butterfield, and my Bessie Marshall co-chair, Sharon Worthington. Our past presidents with us this morning are Elaine Huttenlock, 1984-85, Sharon Worthington, 1995-1996, and Sandy Lutz, 2010-2011. Oh, and Kim Shelton. Kim, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kim is here. Kim is my historian. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Is anybody I missed? Anybody else, I should say? Thank you.
All right, we're going to go right into the committees. I think we're starting with the awards committee. Doyle? Anything?
It's on? Okay. Couple things. One, we're in the, I guess, the busiest part of the committee's period this time, where the awards are starting to come in, nominations are starting to come in. I know the Hall of Fame, the Gates Award, there's quite a few nominations for those. But the biggest one, I think, coming around is the certificates. These can be given out anytime throughout the year if you need them. But I have a stack, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 150 of requested recognition for the 50 years of service. And, you know, as I say, this can be given out anytime, and it's not limited just the convention. But I think a lot of people, or a lot of members out there, are not familiar with it. So we need to advertise it. But also, as we advertise it, this is not the same as the Mulberry Gates Award. And some people think it, you know, they're being recognized for the Gates Award, which they are not. If they fill out the certificate, request for certificate, it's only for the certificate and the 50-year pen. So you may want to kind of explain that to them as you go around to your different organizations. Other than that, we still got to broadcast, beg for people to recognize the individuals across the state that's doing the work of the association. With that, any questions?
So you touched on Hall of Fame. Anything else
Yeah.
in Hall of Fame?
Hall
Tim,
of
anything?
Fame,
Firefighter of the Year?
Tim.
Good.
As I say, everything is, the nominations have been submitted, and it's up to the committees now to make the selection and get it to the proper process. But one thing, and I think there's a couple of committees that handles the awards, is I need a list of the selection as soon as possible so the proper plaques or certificates can be prepared so to be ready for the ocean.
Thank you, Doyle. Any questions for Doyle? Thank you, sir. Strategery. Roger. Anything for?
No, we have no report for past presidents. The only thing we got is our luncheon scheduled for the convention.
Very good. Thank you. Chip, anything on risk management? Public relations. Let's see, we're on here. Jonathan Dayton, volunteer trumpet. We have reports submitted there. Marketing events, Joel, I know reports submitted. Anything, Joel?
Just a reminder, let me get up here the mic. Just a reminder, the mission of the Marketing Events Committee is to promote the mission of the Maryland State Firefighters Association and to discuss issues that we may be facing with the people that we can have an opportunity to talk with. So each event that we go to presents a unique opportunity. We recently went to the Hotel Motel Restaurant Association where we have an opportunity to find vendors for our own convention coming up in June. But you'd be surprised how many people come up and want to discuss firefighter or fire station related issues with us. So we're always glad to do that. When we go to MML or MACO, it's an excellent opportunity to talk with our legislators there, our partners, our city officials, and particularly at MACO, we get a chance to talk to the governor, lieutenant governor, and it's good to have a face in front of them. And quite honestly, a photo op and an opportunity to face-to-face and talk, have an opportunity for one or two really important issues to discuss with them. So we are always open to an opportunity to do that at other events. So if anyone comes up with other events that might be a fit for us to attend and, keep our face in front of a group of people, we'll be glad to do it.
Sounds good.
Is there any questions for me?
Questions for Joel? Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
I know Lynn's not here, President Skyla. We have no update on that. Okay, we'll move into member benefits branch, buddy.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Susan Mott isn't here for scholarship, but I can give a short report.
Okay.
Okay. I stepped down as chair after some medical issues, and Susan took over, so I have a good knowledge of what's going on. At this moment, we have, according to Susan, 29 applicants.
Could you move the mic towards you, please? Thank you.
I'm not used to this.
There you go.
We have, according to Susan, we have about 29 applications. The application deadline was April 15th. We have one, and that includes one Charlie Raleigh applicant, and apparently one student who does not qualify because they're not an active member. We met several times through the year, and we created, and I can pass this around, I didn't bring enough, a brochure for applicants. And it has all the information. It has a little blurb from a couple of our applicants that have already received QR code on the back so they can go directly to that. And also, since I'm part of Joel's marketing and events, we also have a scholarship legacy donation program, and I have cards that I give out when we go to different functions. And we will be meeting on the 29th of April, Doug, to go over and review the applicants and make our selections for convention. So we have it for convention.
Very
And
good.
we will be giving whoever is in attendance who receives an scholarship, we will be giving them their scholarships at convention.
Very good.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions for
Anyone
Scott?
like, I'll pass these around. You can see what
Okay.
we're doing.
Thank you. I know Dave's not here, Teresa Ann's not here. Do we have anybody for joint mental wellness? I know, Randy, you're going to give the next gen, so why don't you go ahead?
This is what they came up with.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I am reporting for the Reaching the Next Generation Committee. Chairperson Dale Bowen could not be with us today. This committee has been very active since we were in Huntingtown. One of the things we've done has been reviewing the membership roles to address participation levels, and those who have very limited or no participation on the committee, we're looking at possibly removing them. So if there's anybody that is interested in joining us, we will welcome folks to join what we're doing. We are planning for the upcoming Fire Service Day at the Fire Museum of Maryland. That is Saturday, June the 13th. We're looking at, the event itself aims to highlight local fire and rescue services, so we're looking to be there. We're working on a promotional flyer. It'll also go out through the weekly report that Kate sends out. We are also reviewing documents related to the high school cadet program to see what we could do there. We had talked about sort of merging it with this next gen committees because they sort of go hand in hand, and maybe splitting it off. Co-chair Dale would stick with the Reaching the Next Gen folks, and Jess would take on the cadet program. So we're working on that, and we're also collecting information about cadet programs that are happening across the state, just to look at best practices, see what's going on out there. Our convention preparations are well underway. We have materials to hand out. We have stickers and then one-page large postcards have been purchased to let folks know what's out there, what we do for them, and how they can get involved. Let's see. Oh, and the large posters that Dale had in Huntingtown when we were there a couple of months ago, those will be coming as well. We are reviewing our award nominations, and Doyle will get you that name as soon as we have settled on it. We have 8 nominations. The committee agreed that everybody that gets a nomination will at least receive a congratulations card, greeting card, either at the convention if they're there, or we will get it to them personally delivered by one of us. And I think that's it.
Hey, Randy, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Just to add one thing. I mentioned to send me the names of the winners and so on of the awards. I need the names and addresses of each individual that was nominated or that was put in for one of the awards, because the awards committee sends a letter to the person that made the nomination and the company so that they will be at the ocean and so on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Doyle.
Yep. Any other questions for Randy? Recruit retention, anybody here for that? Cancer support, again, Teresa's not here. National Volunteer Fire Council, Dave's not here. We're rolling. LoSAP. Let's see, Rick. Wheels for Heroes, I know we have that listed as Mike. Should we change that to Catherine? Yeah, okay. But again, she's not here, so no report on that. Okay, we're moving to Training and Safety, Training Committee. I don't see Delahunty here. High School Career Tech, Randy sort of touched on that. Drone, we had water supply yesterday from Steve. Safety, I don't see John here. Yep. Lithium battery, TBD, standards. All right. Did we cover standards yesterday? All right. All right, so we move into transportation. We had transportation committee report yesterday, Wayne, and now Steve is here, so we can go into president's vehicle, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's snowing outside.
Nah.
Bet me. That's it.
Dougie, we're done.
We were talking last night. Last time we were here, we went to the hen house, and it was nice and warm. We walked in with short sleeve shirts, and when we got finished dinner, there was 2 inches of snow outside. This morning, it was a little cooler, but there's snow.
Well, the vehicles are four-wheel drive, right? So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. At least all the MSFA vehicles are.
Yeah.
A couple items this morning from transportation. First item, been working with the Maryland Memorial Foundation, and Chairman Beard contacted me. They were given a trailer from Carroll County Commissioners, and it will be a memorial trailer. However, we're going to title it and tag it as we have several other vehicles. It'll be titled to Maryland State Firefighters Association, but it's officially their trailer. It'll have our tag on it. They'll have insurance on it and all. Wanted to make the
name
pardon.
of the
Okay. That's why I wanted to bring it up here, so that we can make sure everything's right. Okay.
Do we need a motion to accept that, Steve, do we think? No.
I don't think so.
We're
I
fine
just,
with that?
just,
Okay.
it's up to you.
No, I just want to make sure we're good.
It's very similar to the
insurance.
ones that we did with FEMA,
Right.
those trailers.
Okay.
So, okay. The other item is we've been reviewing the budget. We've been reviewing our vehicles, and as you are aware, recently we replaced the vehicle that was totaled last year, and we made out very well on that particular vehicle. Yes, Skip, we got to talk about it again. We made out well on that vehicle with the insurance replacement and all, and then we purchased, and we were very fortunate that we found one on the lot, and that was assigned to the first vice president. We do have funds available, and the committee can work, the budget committee has worked with them. Within the bottom line, we can purchase another vehicle, and we just want authorization to go ahead and either order, or if we can find one on the lot, it will be a white one to match what the first vice president has. And wanted to make sure the executive committee was aware of that.
Motion by Tim, second by Roger. Any question on that? All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
It will be replacing the one that the second vice president has now. That will give us a fleet of 2 red vehicles and 2 white vehicles. The The one that currently the president has is red. The one the executive director has is the same color red. And then the other two would be white. Also, Mitch has been working on making sure that all registrations, tags are up to date and appropriate. And we're also in the process of wrapping some trailers. You saw the one trailer last year at convention that we had already done. Ron mentioned it earlier. We're wrapping a second one identical so that they'll both be on stage and all, and then we're going to continue with that. So,
Sounds good.
any questions?
Any questions for Steve? Randy?
I can't hear you.
Sorry. The second VP vehicle you're going to replace, that's going to be auctioned off or kept as a backup?
We haven't determined that yet. We would be making that recommendation later to the executive committee. We have had discussions of whether to auction it like we have in the past, or, as you said, a backup. Some of that discussion also involved, we do have in the insurance policy that if one is out of service, we do have a rental vehicle provision. So before we do anything with that, we'll be coming back to this committee on advising whether we're going to sell, whether we're going to keep, or exactly what.
Timbo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And you mentioned you talked to Dennis. Did you want to hit Fire and Rescue Memorial, or Gene, you're going to do that?
No, but I'm going to talk about the memorial.
Yeah.
Listen to Chip's comments about the ownership and all that. I know I realize I can't make a motion, but it would be a great gesture on this committee's favor to say, hey, I'll make a motion to pay the insurance on that trailer. We're begging for money for the memorial all the time. And I know we have money, so it'd be a fantastic motion for somebody to make.
I'll go as far as the budget committee, since I have that in front of me, that we can actually do that.
Okay.
And certainly, Mitch, you're in the back, but I'm pretty sure the car committee supports that.
Randy, a motion?
Yeah, make a motion, we pay the insurance.
Motion to cover the insurance on the
I'll
other
second.
trailer. Second by Tim. Any discussion on that?
Just let us know the cost for the record. Just let us know the cost for the record.
Okay.
All those in
think it's-
favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
I-
One thing we're going to have in it is their wall.
And that's only to ensure it when it's sitting still or gets stolen or something. Whatever tow vehicle is towing it, it falls on their insurance if something happens on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
That is not an automatic under commercial insurance. That's why we do have insurance on it, because we are the owner. So it is covered under our policy. The individual towing has their own coverage, and it's not, their policy does not automatically pick up a commercially owned trailer. That's a misconception a lot of people have.
Thank you, because that's exactly what MVA's been telling us.
Well, they're kind of right, but when it comes to commercial and gross vehicle weights, there's a difference, and it's restrictions in the policy. So that's why we do have to own it. We are covered for liability, even if it's towed by somebody else, because as we own it, we can insure it. But if you have a boat trailer and I haul your boat trailer, it's automatically covered. But there is a misconception with commercial. It is more specifically defined in the policy. So we will be insuring it. We will be owning it. And if something happens and somebody else is towing it, they have coverage for their own vehicle, but we would be covered if we're named in the suit because we are the owner as well. So it's a little different under commercial.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody was clear that even though we're titling it and technically owning it, it is their trailer.
Right. Yep. Okay. Mitch, do you have something to add? Yep.
No, what was the motion? Just to approve it?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get the checks out, so I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
listening. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions for Steve? All right. Thanks, Steve. Data systems. Progress. Video coming back someday. Public address, same. Progress. Any updates?
I just want to let y'all know, if you didn't notice at the last meeting, I had a major piece of equipment go down for repair. It is back. I picked it up Wednesday, so we'll be good to go for Ocean City. It's just not here this weekend because I haven't had a chance to put it back together. But I got it back and we're good to go.
All right. Thank you. Did we touch on Memorial? Did Steve touch on that, or is anybody here for Maryland Fire Rescue Memorial? No?
Dennis Center electronic copy, you should have it.
Yep. Got it. Cumberland Valley. I know Dave's not here. Anybody else want to tackle Cumberland Valley? Report online saw it. Yep. Again, Maryland Fire Chiefs are meeting as we speak. I don't know if anybody here wants to update a report. I know Bob's there. All right, moving right. Say again, Randy.
Hello. All right. Just want to say congratulations to past President and Bob Phillips. Anybody else would be an honor today.
Right, I think we have 4 or 5 different members being recognized today. Yep. Okay, so old business.
Chairman?
Yes?
Yeah, one thing
President.
in regards to that, I think we need to recognize our executive committee member, Chip Jewell, who is here today with us because he realizes that his presence is needed, and we thank him for that, but he's also being inducted into the Maryland Fire Chiefs Hall of Fame today. So congratulations to Chip.
Okay, old business. We're into old business. Any old business? Any old business? Any old business? Hearing none. New business.
Mr. Chairman,
Tim.
was doing something the other day with the online directory, and it's great. I mean, you can find someone quick and stuff like this, but it was basically, I didn't want to go get the book, so I was using that. There's no addresses. I mean, it tells them, what's that?
What was said?
What was said when they were setting up the directory online, they didn't want to put everybody's address on there.
Okay, I never heard that.
So the public can't get,
Okay,
get all it. Well, I mean, we can always change that, but that's what the consensus were when it started.
I didn't hear that discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you, though.
Kind of drifts into the PII realm that, you know, and does everybody want their home address there?
And that was the issue was under the old system, we did have a members area, but now it's just, it's an open area. So by being online open, it creates the same issue with the fire laws books. If you remember correctly, the fire laws books, we could have it under a member because it's restricted to membership use. But because if it would go on our website, it would be public, it's a violation of the copyright of Lexis, and that's why we can't put the fire laws books online, and that's why we have to still print them. And there has been general discussion, can we go back to a membership database or membership only online? That's something to consider, and we could do those kind of things. But that was part of that whole discussion with, you know, being open-ended versus being membership restricted.
Yeah, I think we got, when the grant ran out and the support to the web might have got wrapped into that question, but I know Kate's addressed that once or twice about do we want to return to a members-only section, login, that kind of thing. But I don't think we've ever actually decided on that. So that may be something we want to pick up, or we can send a note to Kate asking, what that would involve if we wanted to go back to that.
Well, actually, we've got the webmaster with us today, and he could go ahead and respond to those questions.
Did he hear our question?
He'll hear you.
How heavy a lift is it if we went back to a members-only area on the website? Yeah, that's kind of what So we're getting questions about posting certain things that we could post when we had the restricted area versus now it's all public. Like fire laws books, personal information, people's addresses. So I think the question was, how hard is that? And then what maintenance is around it?
We have to talk to the person arriving, or whatever their new need is, firemen, find out
Yeah.
what it's good for. Is it a big deal? No, we have to create a new section. It has to be secured all that kind of thing. It can be done. It can be done. The admin is just the payment thing.
Right.
Because when we did it last time, it was constant phone calls of, I forgot what that was.
Right. Okay, so any other discussion on that particular point? It's
Mr.
doable,
Chair.
but it
Mr.
comes
Chairman.
with maintenance tail. Yeah, Mr. President.
I'll get together with the Data Services Committee and work with them on that, see what's
Come back to the
involved.
group. Right.
And we'll come back and see what the wishes may be.
Okay, so we'll
Okay.
put it on the agenda for June to discuss.
We'll do that. It should be at the June meeting unless we have to call something sooner.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Okay, we're under new business still. Any other new business?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. Who am I missing? Oh, Dougie.
I wish to direct this to the executive board members and the official officers. Has there been any one companies in your realm have received a letter from the Maryland Department of the Environment regarding the state's building energy performance standards? Kind of weird. The new president of West Friendship, John McDowell, who's also a member at Arbutus, uncovered this letter from the Department of Environment as he took over as president because of the death of Carol Rolls. And he received this letter. Apparently, there's something in the Maryland Department of the Environment to move to make your building energy efficient. Okay, and this,
I think we did.
if anyone has any information, I'm trying to help him get through this. And any other fire company in the state of Maryland. It specifically looks like it's for new buildings, and they just want them energy efficient by the year 2030, or they start paying a fine. Now, this was new to me. It was dropped. Mr. President, if you can.
I think we discussed that a couple meetings ago.
We have discussed that in the past. This came to our attention, I believe it was back in October, November. It was passed along to the chair of the executive committee, or of the legislative committee to work on. There was Maryland Department of Environment has a something in it, and offhand, I rather than trying to dig paperwork out, something to deal with the 35,000 square foot.
Correct.
If you remember that. And I do know that West Friendship filed paperwork, at least, like I say, back in October, November, to request what we could do about that, because The fire department, volunteer fire department buildings were not included in the exemption. However, government buildings, schools, there was a list of certain types of maintenance or businesses and so on like that were exempt, but the volunteer fire departments weren't. And it had to do with housing under one roof, 35,000 square feet, had to, by 2030, they had to be, I think it was 100% energy efficient, that every year they had a certain scale that had to meet, and I apologize not knowing ahead of time, having more information, but I know that the legislative committee was asked to deal with it. I don't know where it's gone. We did say that we needed to try to get volunteer fire departments. There was a survey. Executive director did put out a survey requesting fire departments. It went out to presidents and chiefs requesting various departments to look and get back to us as to those that would fail to meet the requirements. I would suggest at this point we go back to the chair legislative and say what's going on with it. What actions have we taken to try to get this worked out with MDE? But
Okay, I just wanted to.
thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, bring it up because I didn't want anyone else to get blindsided. Because they're talking about fines and
We have a
everything
member
else.
of legislative here that might have more information on it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So we did go back. Senator McKay did put in a bill to partially address this. So you're right, fire departments were not excluded. But also what's not included in the 35,000 square feet is garage space. So it's questionable if our engine bays are or are not. I personally don't have a clear answer on that. But what we did get a modification to that legislation that if you, as long as your equipment's currently working, you do not have to upgrade to all electric until that equipment has to be replaced. And then you have to upgrade to all electric. So there was a partial modification to that legislation. We will be glad to send that bill out with a summation to address your question.
Okay, thank you.
That would be good.
Yes.
Having just have to replace a $50,000 HVAC unit in our social hall, our contractor did make us aware that that's probably the last one we'll be able to put up based on that present upcoming law.
Yeah, if your under roof space is in excess of 35,000 square feet.
Well, the problem with us is the social hall is not, but the entire fire department is there with our new operational addition. So we do fall into that.
Okay.
We were able to replace it with a like-in-kind unit. However, it'll probably be the last one we replace it with without this exemption. And that was $50,000 today, so you can imagine what it's going to cost 10 years from now.
Yeah, the legislation to us did not make logical sense because of the issues we're having with our electrical grid and electrical supply. But we will send out a summation of what that modification was.
Thank you, past president. I think that unfortunately it would have been nice to have had this brought up yesterday when Senator McKay was here. I'm sure he would like to have heard some of this conversation as well. It's probably a step in the right direction that when you replace your units from fossil fuel, that they have to be replaced to electric, I guess. But we all know that the expense of changing from a fossil fuel heating environment to all electric would be extremely a lot expensive. Just taking this building here and looking the age of it, the system may go out anytime soon, and to have to switch that over can be quite an expense. So maybe we should make sure that the legislative committee continues to follow on this and leave the fire departments alone, period. And whatever they have, just stay with unless they can move forward with electric or in building new facilities be electric. But yeah, I know the departments I belong to and those that I'm associated with, that that would really, they'd be coming into VCAF to try to get funds to
Not doing that anymore.
to take care of this type of renovation. So anyway, just a thought. Executive committee can deal with it from there.
So
Thank
Joel, question on exec committee, I'm sorry, on the Ledge committee, are we going to continue to work with the senator on adjusting that even more in the next session, or is it sort of done? So
I don't think it's done. We will see what we can do, but
Okay.
We have not discussed it with them since the end of the session.
So we'll consider that an action on the Ledge committee for discussion going forward, and we get a report at some point down the road.
I'll put that forward to them as a item that we need to talk about.
Thank you. Anything else under that? Any other new business? Any other new business? Roger, you going forward?
Our new business, go back to that legislation. I think we ought to go on record to send them a letter through our legislative committee that it's really going to be a hardship to all fire service in the state of Maryland. Because I was just telling Skip, we got 3 firehouses that has gas, radiant heat in them. If you got to replace that, first off, you got to upgrade your electric coming to your firehouse to have enough electric to run electric units. And then it's just, the monthly fee's going to be out of this world, which I think it just puts a big hardship on all fire service, career and volunteer. I mean, because taxpayers are paying the bills anyway. But I think we need to have the legislative committee strongly oppose this and try to get us exempt from that. They exempt the government buildings. Why they exempt the government buildings?
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay for it. So, thank you.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, Roger. I think Joel's taking that for action.
Yeah, and Roger, I agree with Roger, and I think what we need to do is look at, for example, in Frederick, the buildings are still owned by the volunteer fire company, so they are not government buildings. Exactly, but they're yet, and in Frederick County, now Frederick County has some that the county owns, but the majority are owned even though there's county employees. So I think we really do need to make it an effort to show that fire service essentially is a quasi-governmental service, and we have got to be there because, and I think possibly Municipal League and particularly MML are the ones that may need to partner on this because retroactively it's going to hit them. Initially it looks like it's all volunteer fire companies, but it's going to come back to hit them because they're still going to be the ones to pay for it even though the volunteer fire companies own it.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion on that? Thank you, Dougie, for bringing that to our attention again. So, new business, any other new business? Steve?
The finance team has asked if anybody has any reimbursements, get them back to them because they're going to start breaking down.
Very good. Any other new business? Any other new business?
Yes.
Randy?
Just off topic a little bit, I learned that Assistant Secretary is going to be 16 tomorrow, so we wish him a happy birthday. Mr. Aaron.
We got a birthday?
Yes. Tell him to come up front.
Happy birthday.
He'll be 16 tomorrow.
All right, one last call for new business.
The
All right, so we'll comments from the executive committee. We'll start. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, Mr. President.
Okay, I didn't hear the old business, but the SOP for the keys and key fob policy?
Oh, right. Didn't have that on my list, but yes, that was sent in, submitted to everybody. Everybody have this is like the third version of that?
The third
updated?
version, that's correct. If I can.
Go for it.
Okay. Just a letter was sent out on April 12th to all executive committee members, Chairman Bilger, regarding the key fob. Now I'm back. Okay. Regarding the key fob and key standard operating procedure. It included all the suggestions, comments from the February meeting, as well as those that received afterwards. Thank you, Randy, for his comments, and Steve Cox for his. They've been included in the document. The document is pretty standard, very straightforward. It just basically gives us the ability to have an SOP regarding our buildings and the equipment. As many of you know, the state is conducting an audit on volunteer departments, or excuse me, volunteer 501c3s that are receiving state funding. This just basically gives us the ability to establish where our facilities are, the proper security and procedures in place for maintaining that security, tracking that the equipment, and so on, so that the equipment, buildings, and all are safe, and the funding provided that serves those is, I guess, being maintained. So it's really standard in that way. It gives us the ability to have the tracking of keys and key fobs, how it's done, where it's done. Primarily the executive director or assistant at this time would be the ones that are, I guess, they're really in charge of most all of that. 2138 in the 17 state circle. Frank would continue to chair that along with the, I guess, a committee of personnel, which would track the same thing. We would start being able to find out where some of those keys are at and how that's managed. As Bob mentioned yesterday, that they'll be closing up, but there'll be some additional, as Frank mentioned, additional work needs to be done, so they'll be able to track issuing the keys to contractors or people that assist, plus getting that type of thing back. So it, as I say, it's pretty much a standard for business, and just like the executive committee to go ahead and move forward with this so we can get it put in as an SOP. It just goes into the Constitution and bylaws, not as a voted item, but as, for instance, our standards for our equipment, standards for the vehicles, and so on like that. So it gives us a place where we'll be able to continue to monitor, can be changed on a regular basis without having 1,700 votes at the convention. So, Mr. Chairman.
So everybody's had a chance to look at that was sent around. Any questions to the president or any questions on that SOP? Do you want a motion to adopt that? Motion by Chip, second by Randy Beavers to adopt the key fob SOP 8A008 4/12/26. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President.
Thank you all very much.
Anything else from that? Okay, so we've got, we're on comments from the exec committee. We'll start with Randy Beavers. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I bring everyone greetings from Anne Arundel County, from our association president, James Richmond. Want to thank Eastern Garrett for all of their hospitality this weekend. Everything's been wonderful. And I'll tell you, if we walked out of here hungry, it was our own fault because there was a lot provided. So thank you very much for all of that work. We appreciate it very much. We had a great day yesterday, got a lot accomplished, and I'm looking forward to being at the beach with everyone. So thank you, everybody, for your time. Be careful driving home in the snow.
Thank you, Randy. Randy.
Yes, good morning. I want to thank Easton and Garrett for their hospitality this weekend. Everything was great. Thanks to everybody for that made the trip and their spouses and family, and hope they have a safe return home. And I bring you greetings from our President Tommy Manley Jr., President of the Southern Maryland Volunteer Firemen's Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Dougie.
Hello, this thing's working. Thanks, Eastern Garrett. The food was great. I got one thing to say to you, Mr. President, Chief. You must have some tall people, males, in this department, because I went into the bathroom to go tinkle, and the urinal was like at my chin. So when I got to stand on my tippy toes to tinkle, something's up. But anyway, yeah, I was looking for a chair to stand on, to tell you the truth. Oh, Lord, help us. I am under medication, girls. It's okay. From Sue Bollinger, our president, a greeting. This new county executive coming up race, there are 8 candidates, and we are having a county executive meeting, and they're going to come to Arbutus on May the 7th to talk about what they can do for the fire service. With that in mind, I also have to thank and congratulate our fire chief, Dixon, who has re-implemented battalion chief coverage. 25 years ago, we had 6 battalions. The fire chief at that time, in a cost-effective move, cut it down to 3. So you had West, Central, and East, which meant the battalion chief, who was covering down in my area and Lansdowne and Halethorpe and all, and if they got a fire up in Arcadia, he was the first due chief. Okay? So now we're going back to 6 battalions for supervision on the fire ground to avoid any issues which have occurred in the Baltimore City Fire Department when they lost members due to lack of a command presence. So our fire chief, in association with the Volunteer Association, has decided to reinstitute and put these chiefs back out, so we are jumped back up to 6 battalions as opposed to 3. So just a little information there for you, and God bless America. And why'd you find the snow? I mean, anything but snow. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, Eastern Garrett. Again, hospitality. I've been up here years ago for a water supply drill, and we only found 1 fire hydrant up here, which is right down the street, but they're able to maintain a lot of water due to the working relationships of all these departments, and I can't commend them as much as they do. President Hartung, we have a new association president. Russell Hartung from Hillendale is now our current president. We just ratified our last contract. It's in front of county council right now for their signature. Nothing was really taken away. We got more stuff, matter of fact. So I support that committee very much for the benefits that we get as volunteers in Montgomery County. Also, we're in the middle of a budget cycle, and it's very important to know that one of the things personally for me in my department, they want to take my day workers away, put them somewhere else, which I'm fighting, and I have, I guess fighting's a bad word, but discussion at council level. I have spoken publicly, not supporting that, and we continue to have conversations with the fire chief. If anybody's watched the news lately, we've had a couple fatal fires in Montgomery County. The fire chief actually yesterday did a safety in the neighborhood countywide, and we went through all the neighborhoods trying to do our best combination system, career and volunteers went out and handed out literatures, talked about smoke detectors, talked about safety in the neighborhoods. And on a personal note, the passing of my father, I want to thank this association, members of this association that reached out to me, talking to me about my father. A little bit about my father. He was everything. I wanted to be just like him. He was a volunteer at Philadelphia back in the 60s and the early 70s. Rudy Radish, if anybody remember the Radishes, was very much involved back then. And so he was probably my biggest critic, but my biggest supporter. And one thing he always told me was, son, 10% is what you'll learn in a book, and 90% of firefighting is common sense. And I've never forgot that concept, and I could try to push it. But I'm in a different level now, Dad. I got to use a lot more common sense and a little bit of what's in a book. So thank you, and everybody safe travels.
Chip?
Good morning, and again, echoing the appreciation. The hospitality was great, food was great, and thank not only Eastern Garrett, but everywhere we go. We're always very, very welcome. Greetings from President Jeff Charay in Frederick County. A couple things going on. We, as of Monday, will have a new director and chief of our volunteer services, Jason Blake. He will be retiring as a battalion chief in Montgomery County. However, he is a very active volunteer just out of state. He has maintained regular activity, duty shifts, so he is a very active volunteer and instructor. So we welcome him on board. That's the position I held for several years in Frederick, so I think he'll be a good addition. Our County Association Convention will be July 16th at Liberty Town, so if you've never come up to see us at the Big Bell, come on down. Love to have you. And thanks to many of the volunteer surrounding counties from Frederick County, we have undergone the last couple of weeks several multi-alarm fires, several apartment fires. At Liberty Town this past week, we had a sawmill fire. And I'm not operational, but I wound up grabbing a utility truck because it was the hottest day of the year so far and taking some water out there till the canteen got there and then took it back out to load it up with hose. And just to show you how this, we had an engine out of Montgomery 34 in our station. We had a tanker out of Lisbon and an ambulance out of Frederick. And then we had, I think, a Washington County unit up on the north end and something from Adams County. So, a lot of these major fires really do not like they used to be, but now you wind up with 2 and 3 jurisdictions transferring into your county. So we've had that. We literally have had Montgomery, Howard, Carroll, Adams County, Southern Loudoun County. But thanks to all the surrounding counties that have participated in that. For those of you going to Ocean City that have come to our hospitality house, over the last several years, it has seemed to get less and less. And this year, we didn't have to make a decision because the American Legion has a big Legion event that night that we usually have our hospitality house. So Frederick County will not be having a hospitality house. We'll have the picnic, family picnic back in Frederick for our members. So for those of you, some of you always would stop by and say hi. It was always the first Monday, but the Legion actually has a big event of their own. So we certainly understand that and appreciate their many, many years of hospitality having us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chip. Steve?
Thank you. Thank you to Eastern Garrett for the hospitality. It's been fantastic. As over the years as we've come out here, it has always been. On behalf of Cecil County, President Mueller, he wanted me to also thank MSFA for the support in the cancer screening grant. They're working with the grant, and they're in the process of getting the questionnaires done in May and the samples done in June, and they certainly appreciate that. They've also initiated a Sound the Alarm campaign with the Red Cross. 2 communities, Waterwich and Elkton, have already, they've gone through, and they're going to continue through the rest of the county. Harford County, President Tom Scheck, we had a candidates forum for the county exec this week, and had the opportunity to talk with 3 of the 5 candidates. And some of the questions that we were asking our Director of DES has announced his retirement and what role the association will have in input for the replacement, as well as funding in the future, what kind of mix with the career service, expansion of the EMS service, and also a lot more to come about there. So, also on a personal note, Nancy asked me to thank everyone for the cards, the phone calls, the support, the well wish as we go through her health issues. Thank you.
We're with you, Steve. Tim.
Good morning. Welcome to Western Maryland. Actually, the Western Maryland. I just looked back through my notes and I told you at the last meeting, if you were coming to Garrett County in April, prepare. So anybody that didn't bring their four-wheel drive vehicle or their coat with them, I told you last meeting, you come to Garrett County this time of the year, you could see all 4 seasons in one day. So you were warned. So anyway, greetings from President Wolford of the Allegheny Garrett Association. They're still progressing along. And as I said the last time, and I'll just repeat it, their convention will be June the 6th, which is the first Saturday in June, like it always has been for years. And it'll actually be in Potomac, my home department. So officers, if you're looking for a full day of activities, you can come to Western Maryland, attend a convention, and it's an all-day convention again. And then in the afternoon, you can get in the vehicle and you can drive to the officers' banquet in Annapolis, because I think it's the same day. So there you go. You can make a full day travel of it and come out to Western Maryland. Allegheny County is still progressing along. I will give Garrett County credit. They have set down their chiefs and stuff, and they've actually drafted a letter to the commissioners, and I think the commissioners wanted to know where they see the fire service in Garrett County and what they can do to help them. They've drafted a very, very good letter with wishes on that letter, and they've spent some time. They've looked at things, and I will, like I said, Garrett County has done real well with that. Let me see what we know. Okay, executive committee members and the presidents, don't leave without seeing Mr. Clark over there. He has something for you before you leave Garrett County. I think it's a snow shovel, but I'm not sure. But anyway.
Nice smell.
Eastern Garrett, thank you, gentlemen and ladies, very much. Your hospitality was great this weekend, and it's nice to see that I represent the 2 Western counties, and you guys and gals have put out a great weekend for us. The Allegheny Garrett Association, they're the ones that hosted your reception on Friday night at the motel, and Jonathan and Addie did an excellent job with that too, so I'd like to publicly thank them for it. We'll see you all in the ocean.
Good, thank you, Tim. Roger.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'd also like to thank Garrett, Eastern Garrett. And like Tim says, every time we've been out here, it's gone from sunny to raining or snowing or whatever. But it's still a nice area to be. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Got a couple of things. We've had a couple of our members have been diagnosed with some medical problems, and it all became available, noticed through our fire company physical program. So if you don't have one, you should get one. Yep. Well, one had a 3-way bypass, passed his stress test doing his physical, but his blood work, one of the numbers came back high, so they did some more follow-up test on him, and he had a 3-way bypass last week, 60 years old. Woo. So, but he's doing all right.
Stay healthy.
The other one, he goes tomorrow to John Hopkins for some type of procedure. He wouldn't tell us what it was, but anyway, it was picked up through his fire company physical. So, okay, next, the parade. I know it was mentioned yesterday, but the parade is Saturday, June 20th. We'd like for you to register online. It doesn't have anything to do with where you're going to be in the parade. It's just we'd like to know, have an idea of the numbers coming, because our staging areas are a little different this year than they were when we were using the beach parking lot. So it's just trying to, logistics wise, trying to figure out where we're going to put everybody. We got plenty of room, so bring in whatever you want. And staging's going to start on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. The parade starts at 2 o'clock. And we got a couple events going on in Berlin to try to get people there and stuff. Got Touch the Truck is going to run from 10 till 1. And parking's at the intermediate school off of Franklin Avenue, but it's going to, I think it's in the website too. But we have a shuttle lined up to take you from there downtown. It's a couple blocks to get downtown. I mean, most people can walk it, but for people who can't walk it, we'll have a shuttle. That's all I got, and I thank everybody and be safe going home.
Thank you, Rod.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I too would like to add my thanks to Garrett for their great hospitality. The food was fantastic. In 60-some short days, Charlie exchanged his positions with me. I don't go to president, but he comes here to ex officio, and I go home. I won't have to ride with Roger. Won't have to chauffeur me anymore. But as Randy can tell you, it's a trip and a half riding with us. But to all of the members, thank you for the friendship you've shown me in the years when I was on this, and then when I went through the officers, and now that I'm back on it. You know, this is a great organization, and in the fun that exists. I mean, I finally found in a fire service organization somebody that has the craziest clothes fashion that I do. And he's my buddy.
Who might that be?
And he's my buddy sitting over there. I got a great pair of pants that'll match that shirt.
That's
just what I need to get in the skip pants.
Okay. Strike that from the minutes, Richard, please.
I thank you all.
Charlie, we're losing it over here. All right. I'm going to make it unanimous. Again, thank you, Eastern Garrett, for your hospitality. Great food, nice facility, weather, okay. But again, we appreciate everything. I'll give greetings from President Wells and the Prince George's County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. Staying busy down there in gorgeous Prince George's. I reported last 2 meetings ago that, you know, we have a new fire chief, Chief Micheladas. She's still working through some changes in the department. There's been some turnover in the command staff. Pretty much every deputy fire chief is now new, replaced. We've stayed close with her from the association. She meets with us quarterly, the presidents and chiefs of all the volunteer fire companies. She's very much leaning into making the volunteer fire service in Prince George's County thrive. So we're anxious that that continues. We'll see how that goes. You know, sometimes things happen and then they don't happen later, but we're going to stay close with her as an association and try to make things better for the volunteers in that county. The other thing is on the county executive side, and if anybody follows the county council, there's been changes there too. So lots of changes in Prince George's County, both in fire and EMS and in the political landscape. The association, again, is reaching out to those leaders to make sure they understand how valuable the volunteer fire service is to the fire and EMS service in the county. So we'll continue to do that. And I would just like to thank you all for tolerating this third string vice chair chairing the Sunday meeting. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to working with you all. And I think that's all we have until we go to the presidents. Any comments from Second VP Lee?
Thank you, everyone. Like everyone else, I'd like to echo the thanks to Eastern Garrett. What a wonderful time we had up here. And if you went away from this place hungry, there's something wrong with you. Because they definitely put on some good food. But I'd like to thank them for their warm hospitality, and I'd like to thank everyone out there for all the work they do. And Prince George's County-wise, I'd also like to echo what Vice Chair Whipple said. This new fire chief is much, much more receptive to the volunteers than the previous one. As you know, I came before you and when I was on the committee and told you that that particular fire chief was attempting to really run us out of business in Prince George's County. This is a complete 180-degree turn. So we're really hopeful in PG County that this will, in fact, come to fruition, and we'll get back a lot more than just a few minor things. We have already come back into, been allowed back into the fire service building, which was one of the things that the former chief took away from us. So hopefully that will continue to change. And lastly, if any of you are inclined to visit a PG County meeting, the May meeting will be in Baden. It's pretty far down in the southern end of PG County, but that's where the May meeting will be. It'll be the second Wednesday of the month. And other than that, I have nothing else, and thank you very much.
Mr. President, bring us home.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great job. You got initiated really tough there, but great job. I didn't know I pushed that button. Anyway, okay, Chip, you brought up some interesting information there. I remember 50 years ago, you and I worked together in Carroll County Central Alarm, the precursor to 911. And one of the interesting things was, and when we had a mutual aid, or we had a call that required mutual aid, we had, I think, 6 radios on the wall in front of us, behind us. We had the state police radio down here. We had radios all over the place. And when you had a call that required all kinds of assistance and help, there's only one of you sitting there. And it was quite interesting trying to keep up with it. And you brought up with all the mutual aid. Now that we all have this 800 system with the trunking and everybody gets on the same track or talk group and so on, what a difference, what progress has been made. And, I think that's something many of us don't think about, but the progress that we have made in the fire EMS service, not just the volunteer, but career and how we work together. And it's really fantastic to listen. The improvements in Prince George, I would like to see them move to some of our other counties, but that's great. I would also like to thank Eastern Garrett, particularly for the hospitality, for the food. It's been a great weekend. The Allegheny Garrett Volunteer or the Fire Rescue Association for their reception on Friday evening. 2 years ago, I was here for a meeting in this building, and I thought, this would make a nice place for a executive committee meeting. And so went and talked to him, set it up, went to Tim Dayton and said, hey, Tim, how about helping me out with this? Well, Tim's done a fantastic job. Tim, as the executive committee member representing this area, and Jonathan, who currently is serving as vice president of Allegheny. He's been president, vice president. Now I think he's going to be president again. But anyway, he's going around that circle. They've done a fantastic job, and I thank both of them for the services that they've assisted with us this weekend. It's been fantastic, with the exception of the snow. Okay, but I'd like to thank our Data Services Committee. Things have really worked well up until a couple minutes ago. Really worked well for us. Done another fantastic job. We'll be working on some other things. We moved very well this weekend in our services. Finally got the video equipment back and working, and that's great. Dan Garrett and his son, who's managing our website now, they're doing a great job with that moving forward. And thank you for being here and being a part of our weekend. It's just great. The business of the association is out there for us all to see, and that's what's important. Certainly be seeing all of you in Ocean City coming up in probably, I think, like 60 days. But I'm not counting. And, we'll try to finish up on some of our old business and get things out of the way. There'll be quite a few we'll be seeing on June 6th at the President's Banquet. President Kramer from the Auxiliary and I will be looking forward to that particular evening right before our Maryland Firefighters memorial service. So with that, my words are be safe, travel safe going home, take care of yourselves, and see you in Ocean City. Thank you.
Please join me in prayer. Father God, we thank you for your presence with us this weekend, Father, and we ask you to continue to watch over us as we travel home. Give us safe travels. Father, look after our members who are responding on calls, protect them and guide them, and bring them home safely. And Father God, we ask you to watch after our military folks serving around the world, protect them, guide them, and bring them home safely. And we ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.